What up, Maya?
What's up, Dallas?
You usually say what up first. I gotta speak
I,
first today.
I was trying to see how long it would take to see if you did it.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. Good to know. How you doing?
I'm good. I was cleaning up my house for spring cleaning. I found this old Drake shirt from a concert I went to.
Okay.
So I threw it on in support of Iceman because this is not a Kendrick household.
Okay, okay. That's
What
good.
about you?
Chilling. Won a couple bets earlier today. Very
Okay.
excited for today. Yesterday went pretty well. The Spurs did what they were supposed to do. And we're gonna get into all that pretty shortly.
Okay. Well, welcome back to everyone that is watching. We've been pretty consistent for maybe 3 weeks, almost a month. So proud of us. Let's dive into some game two recaps. We could start with the 76ers and the New York Knicks, which is actually a close series. The other one was a blowout. So let's start with this one since it was a little closer. Final score was 108, 102.
Yeah. It was kind of we touched on it earlier yesterday in the show, how the spread went to 11, and I was like, yeah, Joel's out, and everyone thinks it's gonna be a blowout, but I would definitely be careful with that. I felt like the Knicks were just playing at such a high level that it had to come back down some. Yeah, they still got the win, but they did not cover that spread. I advise people to be careful. The Knicks is exactly what we've been saying with them. It's the same thing. The Philadelphia 76ers have trouble guarding Jalen Brunson. He's pretty tough for them. Tough matchup. OG Anunoby played well. Maxey did get it going yesterday. VJ came to help. Paul George started off cooking, but disappeared in the fourth quarter. Um, but it's just a matchup problem. This is just not a good matchup for the Sixers. With Joel or without Joel, the Knicks perimeter guys are pretty hands-on, and everybody contributing. So Philly fought to the end, but they just couldn't get it done.
So realistically, do you think that even if Joel Embiid is playing and he is healthy, the Knicks still got it?
Um, I don't know. I feel like that energy in Philadelphia is a little different. They have a really nice crowd and all that type of stuff. I feel like they can get a couple games maybe,
Okay.
but I just feel like it's a tough matchup. They need everything to go right. Philly needs everything to go right for them to win, and Knicks don't need everything to go right for them to win. They could some things can go wrong and they can still win the game. Like yesterday wasn't their best game, but they still was able to pull it out. Cat got in foul trouble early. He came back in and then dominated as soon as he got it in. He ended with 20 points and 10 rebounds still. It's just a matchup problem. Philly personnel, they were trying anything. I said Barlow yesterday. Barlow played, gave him some good minutes yesterday, but it's still not enough. They don't have the person on the roster to put on Jalen Brunson. And that's the head of
Dominique
the team.
Barlow on this. Dominique Barlow?
Yeah, on the Sixers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shout out
they
to
played him. They
OT.
played him. Yeah, they played him some once Bona and Drummond got in foul trouble. He gave him some good minutes. He's a more agile big man compared to those two guys. Gave him a different look. Was able to stay in front of Brunson, make the shots tougher. But of course, he can't guard Jalen Brunson. So
So do we think that realistically, if Joel Embiid does come back, but the matchup continues to go the way that it's going, and it's 2-0, and if it goes 3-0, 4-0, can Cat pop his stuff then?
oh yeah, Cat get to pop it. Cat
Okay.
get to pop it. They beat him. He get to pop it. Cat playing great. I mean, he's flirting with a triple double almost every game. He got 2 triple doubles so far in this playoff. Cat is playing like a real all-star big man. Cat might be playing the best basketball at center in the NBA right now.
Over Wemby?
Maybe.
Because
Kind
they
of,
had
yeah.
one bad game in San Antonio? Oh, but
The
Cat didn't
thing
have
is,
any.
Cat playing good enough to the point where it's like you're not wrong for arguing Cat playing the best center in the NBA right now.
Okay. Well, let us know in the comments if you agree with that, because we have joked about Big Purr a little bit, but when it's time, he shows up, and that's what he's been doing. But realistically, if the Knicks do continue to win, Jalen Brunson would be like Finals MVP, not Cat. Correct?
Yeah, probably because he got the ball all the time. But it's a world where Cat can get it. I mean, it's a world where Cat can get it. But it probably will be Brunson if they were to do that, win the championship.
Somebody on Instagram said he's finally earning his check. Showing up, showing out.
He is. Big Purr.
Big Purr. Okay, so realistically for the 76ers, do you think it's just they're cooked? Like, move on to the next series, not much else to say.
No, I can't say that. I mean, I just don't know what they're going to do with Brunson. If the Knicks start to miss shots, and also OG got hurt late in the game yesterday, OG ends up missing a couple games. Now the series turns because now I think that changes things a lot because OG's probably been the best player on the Knicks all playoffs. Honestly, the most consistent, scoring, rebounding, everything, defense. OG has to miss a couple games.
Speaking of OG, did you see the article I sent you about the New York Knicks players being denied at the Met Gala after parties?
I saw it. I didn't really look at it all the way though, but I did see it. I did see you sent it to me. I didn't understand all the way. Like, how could they be denied?
I mean, it's the Met. So they said Sabrina Carpenter, who's like a pop star, she hosted a Met Gala after party. And it was in New York because the Met Gala's in New York. And they said multiple New York Knicks players showed up. And at the front door, they were denied entry. And they said, no, you can't come in. And one of the players that they said was OG trying to go party. And they're no. And they had a game that day. So it was right after their game. They was trying to go out. And they got denied.
They won and everything. Couldn't go out.
It was like, you're not that guy yet. Okay. So let's just move on to this blowout game. And blowout might be an understatement. To the Timberwolves versus the Spurs. Final score was 95-133. At no point in this game was it close. Realistically, like the Spurs, they ate them for dinner. What did you think of this matchup?
It's kind of what I expected. I expected the Spurs to bounce back after game one. They played pretty bad. They played solid defense, but they just didn't score the ball well. Like I said yesterday, it was due to they're a young team going against a veteran team. First game of the next round of the playoffs after coming off a win. But they came out very aggressive, very physical from the jump. I think Minnesota was just the more physical team in game one, and that turned completely in game two. The Spurs were the way more physical team. They made shots. They hit I don't know how many threes. The bench players played well. They had Ant-Man in jail. They double-teamed him as soon as he crossed half court. They trapped him. They got plenty of fast break points. Minnesota couldn't do anything on offense. I think in the first half they didn't have anyone in double figures. It was just total domination by the San Antonio Spurs. De'Aaron Fox had 15 points instantly. Wemby, 14 rebounds plus. It was just total domination. The better team was clear yesterday. Timberwolves couldn't do anything right. They said in the press conference, they was like, they outplayed us in every aspect of the game. The coach said they outplayed us offensively, defensively, turnovers, fast break. They dominated us in every aspect of the game, and that's just what it was. They didn't have much to say in the press conference.
I bet. You said that it was clear who was the better team last night. Do you think that they've shown that they're the better team in this series as well?
I think they're the better team just because I don't think Minnesota has enough scoring to beat them. The players that they're looking to have score have matchup problems. You know what I'm saying? They don't match up well against the Spurs guards. They don't match up well against the Spurs bigs. You got a center and Rudy Gobert that can't score the ball. Randall can score, but since Rudy can't score now, it's extra help on Randall. He's trying to bully his way to the rim. Ant-Man is not 100%, so he doesn't have that same bounce to him. He can score sometimes, but he doesn't have that same lift, that Ant-Man lift, athleticism, dunking on people. He doesn't have that. You're missing Dante DiVincenzo, your knockdown shooter, so you have less shooting on the floor. You got an old Mike Conley. Yeah, in spurts he can play well, but he's not going to play well for the whole game. Yeah. You got Terrence Shannon. Terrence Shannon is solid, but it's a difference in this series than last series when he played against Denver with no athleticism, and he's the most athletic person on the floor, and he's just running past and dunking on everybody. This series, everybody's athletic, but that's on the floor on both teams. And you got a shot blocker at the rim now, so you can't just run past people who go dunk on them at the rim. It's just a different series. McDaniel's the same thing. I said it since I knew that they were going to match up with them. I'm like, this series will be a lot different for Minnesota as far as scoring the ball. We know Minnesota all year has not been like a high-power offense or anything like that, but they played against that Denver team that didn't play any defense, so it made them look like a high-power offense, and they got used to that. Now they're playing against excellent defense. I mean, probably one of the best defenses in the NBA with the Defensive Player of the Year, of course. And you see the difference. They haven't hit 100 points yet. I said yesterday, I don't think they'll score 100 points in this series. In the games that they win, they're going to have to stop the Spurs from scoring. The Spurs have to miss. I don't see Minnesota scoring 100 points in this series unless it's garbage time.
Unless it's garbage time. Okay. So I was looking through some of our Twitch comments, how we talked about, you said you think Karl-Anthony Towns is playing as the best center in the league right now. You said, I asked better than Wemby. You said arguably better than Wemby. So someone agreed saying they definitely would say he's playing better. And then somebody else was like, yeah, no, I'm still going with Wemby. My question for you is if, and I'll be very specific, right? If the Knicks blow out the 76ers, they sweep them 4-0. The Spurs go against the Timberwolves, they maybe go to a game 6. So the Knicks rest, the Spurs kind of a dogfight. Do you think that if Wemby and Cat went against each other, that Cat would take his lunch money?
I think Cat gonna have a problem with Wemby. Cat matchup. So the Cat matchup is just very in his favor in this series against Philly because their bigs can't really move their feet, and then you can't guard them with a small leader. Cat, he was going against Drummond last night. Drummond, he was a good big at one point in time. He's a solid backup, but Cat takes you off the dribble, and Drummond can't move his feet to stay with Cat off the dribble, but he has to get there to contest the shot as well. So he's kind of in no man's land. And then you put Bono on him. Bono's going to foul him. He's not as disciplined, younger player. Embiid, he can't keep up with Brunson in the pick and roll. So it's just he has really good matchups. But when he gets matched up with Wemby, it's going to be different. Cat under against Wemby. So it's all about matchups for Cat.
Okay. So then to close off this Timberwolves Spurs series, when they are considering that they're now headed to Minnesota, do you think that the home court advantage takes place and Anthony Edwards got embarrassed last game? He comes back and tries to go off. Now it's close and the Timberwolves get a dub?
Yes and no. They might be able to get one of the games in Minnesota. It's going to be tough. Like I said, the Spurs just have to miss shots because Minnesota's not going to score. In order to beat the Spurs, Minnesota going to have to score 110. I don't know if they can do that in any game. The home court will be their chance just to see how that young Spurs team plays on the road. But I like what Wemby said in the press conference yesterday. He said, yeah, Coach Pop always told us never get too high off a win, never get too low off a loss and all that type of stuff. So their mindset in San Antonio is a Greg Popovich mindset. And then it's filtered down to Wemby, their best player, who's very humble, very even-keeled, and they're literally just going to play the right way and do the right things. They're not going to be too high off of this blowout win. They're going to go back to work tomorrow, the next day, same exact way, and just bank on what they've been doing all season.
Did you see what Wemby asked Rudy Gobert about his water filter? Do you see that story? You said no?
No, I saw something on my close past it quick though.
So it said Victor Wembanyama asked Rudy Gobert about what water filter he uses in his home. And Rudy said when he asked him that, he realized, he was like, wow, this young kid really pays attention to detail. Like he's so focused on waking up early, reading, meditating, like how he went and he spent 2 weeks away from the world and shaved his head and stuff. And so he said he asked him about the water filter, and he's like, this kid is really, really committed to his health at 22. And he said it made him look at his Timberwolves teammates and kind of think like, why didn't Ant ever ask me what kind of water I drink? Like the other players, he's locked in basically.
Right. Do we have that clip by any chance?
I think we could probably pull it up. We could ask Deontay. He could pull it up for us.
That's definitely because that's what I feel like a big part of Wemby game is that he just does everything right.
He just tells you how his mind is.
I don't mean green religion is Wemby's going to have it.
I try to talk to the young guys here like about with the food they eat and stuff like that, but I don't get those kind of questions. So yeah, never. Not yet. I pray for that day.
So he said, I pray for that day when my teammates ask me about the water filter.
Yeah. I feel like that's a big part of Wemby game, literally, that he's just so disciplined. He doesn't go out. He doesn't do any of the why young person things.
There we go. I was thinking, I'm like,
he doesn't do the stuff. He doesn't do the things that a lot of young people do.
Cats.
He reads his book. He reads his books. He goes to sleep at a certain time. He wakes up at a certain time. He just loves basketball and he wants to be the best. So he treats every day like he's trying to be the best basketball player, not trying to do other things. So it displays in this game.
He's not trying to be a superstar. He's trying to be a basketball player that thus makes him a superstar for being so good, basically. Okay, so let's move on to tonight's playoff games. Someone asked if we talked about the Cavaliers-Pistons matchup already. We did not, so we can start there. What do you think about this game? Sam Merrill is listed as a game-time decision with a hamstring injury, and then Kevin Huerter is also listed as a game-time decision with a thigh injury, but he's been game-time decision and then been out anyways. So what do you think about this Cavs-Pistons matchup?
This is probably this is probably my favorite series going right now, just because this is the only one where you kind of don't know who's going to win this. It's kind of in the air who's going to win. I do believe that the winner of this might win the East. Not 100% sure, but I think that they can win the East. This game is just basically about, are the Cavaliers going to keep turning the ball over? If they're going to keep turning the ball over, they're going to lose. If they don't turn the ball over, they have a good chance to win. Simple as that. It's not much more.
Specifically James Harden.
The Pistons. James Harden. Yes, he is the primary ball handler. I was watching Inside the NBA last night, and Charles Barkley brought up a stat that James Harden has had more turnovers than field goals made in 29 playoff games. That is insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Very. And they have to do a better job on guarding Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson killed them off pin downs, also in transition. He had 19 points. The Pistons got one guy that shoots the ball, the three-point shot at a high clip, literally, and it's Duncan Robinson. You got to find them. You can't just keep letting them be free and shoot shots. And he even made some layups. Like Duncan Robinson made layups the other day, and he's free again on the offensive rebound. That's target practice. He's going to make that with his eyes closed. They got one guy that shoots the ball. His number 55. He's got the sheen of Jimmy Neutron head to him, and you got to just find him. You can't let him shoot open threes. Tobias Harris the only other guy that could shoot the three high at a high clip, and Cade, of course. But that's been the Pistons' kryptonite all year. They can't shoot the three. So you got to stop them from getting in transition so they can find these guys open for threes, and you got to just communicate on the pin downs from Duncan Robinson. You can't have missing communication on the only shooter and the best shooter on the team giving them wide open looks, Cavaliers. You got to play better defense. You got to stop giving up transition points. They gave up 32 points off turnovers last game, 32, and they had 20 turnovers as a team. Bless you. Can't do that.
Realistically, with the adjustments that you're explaining, you do think that the Cavs will be able to come back within this series, it sounds like.
I think this is a series is probably going to go 6 or 7 games. So they're going to have to win some games. Will it be tonight? Who knows? Join the group and find out.
Ooh, I like the way you did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're talking specifically about the Detroit Pistons, right? We mentioned that Jalen Duren has been playing better. Cade Cunningham is always Cade. We always shout out the Thompson twin. Javonte Green, our former Chicago friend, we mentioned he was playing well. What are some other keys to victory that you think they need to really lock in and focus on so that way the Pistons can head into Cleveland up 2-0?
Detroit is pretty much they need Dennis Jenkins to play well again, the backup point guard. Those minutes that he gets to spell Cade Cunningham so he can get his rest, or if Cade gets in foul trouble, are very important. That the Pistons still at least stay steady instead of going down or anything like that. It can be a real big drop off when Cade sits down because, I mean, he would love to play 48 minutes, but he does have to rest sometimes. So those minutes that Jenkins gives them are very important. Also, Duncan Robinson is the guy again. I mean, Duncan Robinson is the guy. If you can get him going, I'm pretty sure the Pistons record is insane when Duncan Robinson makes 4 or more threes or scores 15-plus points. I'm pretty sure that record is amazing. One day we'll be able to figure that out. I'll have the stat next time what their record is when Duncan Robinson scores 15 or more. But it's those guys. It's Jenkins and Duncan. They have to play well for the Pistons to win. Cade's going to show up every game. Cavs don't really have anyone to match up with him. Jalen, he's playing better this series because it's not the same matchup the way the Cavs guarded. So it's very interesting.
Okay, question for you. Someone on Twitch said the Cleveland Cavaliers don't have the perimeter defense to slow the Pistons down. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, like I just said, they don't have a perimeter defender. I believe Tyson is their best defender. They try to put Strus on people and make it seem like he's a good defender. Max Strus isn't a good defender for real. He tries hard though. He committed dumb fouls a lot of times. Cade can kind of bait him into some fouls. I do think that the fact that they do have those double bigs, it can help. But the key to stopping them is really just keeping them out of transition. You got to keep them out of transition because that's when Detroit is at their best. I feel like in the half court when you're set and you got the bigs, Mobley and Allen there behind you, it kind of makes up for your lack of perimeter defense. You got 2 big 7-foot shot blockers that rebound and move their feet well, but they can only help you when you're in the half court. They can't really help you in transition when Cade Cunningham got the ball and now everybody's scrambling. It's a big difference in the half court setting and the full court setting, especially for this Cavs team.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about for this series?
We actually got the stats on Duncan Robinson. So the Pistons are 39-8 when he makes 3 or more 3-pointers in the season this year. They are 22-4 when Duncan Robinson makes 4 or more 3-pointers. And they are 26-4 when Duncan Robinson scores 15 points. So I didn't even know that, but you see, the numbers are numbers. Exactly. Duncan Robinson scores 15 points. You can pretty much bank the Pistons winning because he's getting wide open shots, and that's just what it is. They're a pretty good team when Duncan Robinson can give them that extra boost.
Okay. Shout out.
Thanks, Deontay.
Exactly. Shout out to Deontay. So I'm looking through the YouTube comments. Someone said that they think the New York Knicks are winning the East and that it would be New York Knicks versus San Antonio Spurs in the finals. But then someone else said that they think Detroit Pistons would win this series and the East. My question for you, we've slightly covered it before, but again, if you had to predict from today, who do you think makes it out of each conference?
Thunder and Thunder, and I hate to say it, but it looks like the Knicks. I don't want to even let them people have a parade this early. But I think OKC for sure, but it actually might be the Knicks this year. They look good.
Why do you hate to say it?
Because the Knicks fans, they celebrate early all the time, and that's just what they do. They win 2 games and they feel like they won the series as a parade. And honestly, I want to see it. Remember last year they was beating up Tyrese Halliburton outside. They trampled J.R. Smith this week. It's like I kind of want the Knicks deserve to be there. I want to see what it looks like if the Knicks having to make it to the Western Conference Finals Eastern Conference Finals or win the East. I want to see it. It's going to be pure comedy.
Okay, but considering that you're a diehard Oklahoma City Thunder fan, in the chance that it is New York Knicks versus OKC, would that put a little bit of... See, you're already making a face. Would that put a little bit of fear in your heart? Would you be a little bit nervous? Just a little, thinking like, okay, it might go to 6 or 7.
Man, they can't... Have you seen who played for OKC?
Oh, brother.
I'm being serious here. I mean, come on now.
We know you think that no team can beat them and that they're just the end all be all. But I'm saying because it matters who they end up matching up against. So do you think that if you saw it was the Knicks, would you be like, ooh, I hope we start off strong. I hope J-Dub comes back. Or are you saying it just don't matter?
I mean, I think we need J-Dub regardless to win the championship. I think the Knicks probably win a game. I just don't think that they match up with the Thunder well in no aspect. You got Chet at the 4, so OG's smaller now. OG's going to be smaller than him. You got Hartenstein, who used to play for the Knicks with Cat. He going to punk Cat. Then you got Dort. We're going to put Dort on Brunson. So that's like the perfect person to guard Brunson. Strong, small, tough. He's not going to just get bumped off his spot. I feel like Dort is probably the best defender in the NBA to be guarding Jalen Brunson, besides the Thompson twin that plays for the Rockets. And then who they guarding Shea with? Bridges or something like that? Cat going to be in foul trouble. Cat probably foul out every game, trying to guard Shea and pick and roll. Nice. Thunder too good.
Aye. Someone on Instagram asked, no Lakers? I'm going to reply with someone on YouTube who said, I'm a Lakers fan and I know it's over. Sorry, guys. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Someone else said,
they do play last.
True. Someone else said, I get last year, but how Cade is playing and with the Knicks not having a strong interior presence, I don't see how the Knicks beat Detroit this year. Okay.
That's a valid point.
As a Thunder fan, do you care if it's the Pistons or it's still barbecue chicken?
I think the Pistons not being able to shoot the 3 ball is going to show up against the Thunder. So all these teams are flawed. The closest team that can beat the Thunder is the Spurs. I will say that. The Spurs is the team that has a chance. It's right on time. I put the comment up. The Spurs is the team that can beat the Thunder. That's about it. We need J-Dub probably. If the Thunder are able to beat the Spurs this year with their injuries, Shea going to stamp himself as the best. Like, simple as that. It's overly stamped because he's going to have to put them on his back. He's going to have to score 35 to 40 every single night in order to beat that San Antonio team without J-Dub or with a halfway healthy J-Dub. So it's going to be interesting. That's what the people want to see.
That's what they want to see. Okay. Someone said the Thunder have a clear path to go back to back. We talked about this yesterday, how they're essentially going to end up, we assume, a dynasty. So, okay, that is all for tonight's games. For at least the what?
Thunder play the Lakers.
Oh, let me see. Oh, perfect timing. There you go. We could just dive into it, but the Lakers, they're not winning. But I would love to hear your thoughts on it. The Lakers, Luka Doncic is out with the hamstring injury. Luke Kennard is listed as a game time decision with a neck injury. Thomas Sorber has been out for the season. And then J-Dub is still out with the hamstring injury, which I wonder, is he fully out, and there's no way he could play? Or is it like, oh, it's the Lakers, I could just keep resting and healing?
Yeah, they're in no rush to have J-Dub back in this series. They're not going to lose this series no matter what happens. Luka, somebody said on Instagram, if Luka comes back, does it change? Yeah, it would, but Luka's not coming back, I don't think, this series, because it's only going to be 4 games. It's not like it's going to be 6 games, 7 games. We got probably about 5 more days of this series still being active. They're going to go to L.A., beat them in L.A. twice, and it's going to be a wrap. Bye-bye, Bron. Bye-bye, Bronny. Also, just the Thunder are just too good. We know what's going to happen in this one. I did tell y'all on the show, the first game of this series, that be careful taking Shai's points because J.J. Redick likes to double team. He only had 18 points game 1. J.J. Redick sent a double team at him every single time, and they still won by 18. So that's the beauty of this OKC team. I said Chet would have a big game. Chet had a big game. Chet's going to have a big game again tonight. They don't have a matchup for Chet Holmgren. They're playing Rui at the 4. He can't guard Chet. They don't have a matchup for Chet. That's just what it is. It's simple as that. And they're going to beat him again and again and again and again. And that's just what is going to happen. Be careful with Shai points again.
I feel like within this series, it's almost slightly repetitive, even though this is only game 2. But are there any new developments or anything that could change to where this wouldn't be an easy sweep? Do you think potentially if Luka were to come back for game 3 and 4 that we would have a different tone?
You know what? I'm gonna show a clip to just kind of let everybody understand what I think about this Lakers Thunder series. We're gonna show what needs to be shown right here. This clip right here will tell you everything I think about this series. This is what we waiting on right here. This is what the whole world want to see. This is what everybody want to see. This is what everybody waiting on. This is the series of the whole NBA season. Everybody wants to see San Antonio versus OKC in the 7-game series. We can just fast forward to this because this is what's going to happen. This is what we want to see. We don't have to talk about Lakers Thunder. The Timberwolves got an outside long shot to beat them maybe if some miraculous things start happening. But this is what we want to see, Western Conference Finals. Everybody wants to see it. The NBA want to see it. I don't think there's no way the NBA will let the Western Conference Finals go on without this being the Western Conference Final. This is the moneymaker. This is going to be the most viewed finals, Western Conference Finals probably ever in the history of the sport. This is must-see TV. It's probably going 7. Every game is going to be cinema. You got the best players on the floor in the NBA, 2 of the best players on the floor, and that's just what it is. This is what we want to see, Maya. This is what we want to see.
Okay, so then I'm assuming the answer to my question that I asked you would be no. Luka has no effect. Game 3, game 4 is over with. The series is just done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Someone, which we do like when you guys share some of your betting expertise in the comments, which you guys like. Someone said they've been doing Hartenstein over 7.5 points and that's been a sneaky cash for them. So we're not endorsing it, but we're just sharing. I like it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So someone asked, what's the system play for today, the free one that you give out? But before you get into that, we have to talk about the WNBA is back. Very exciting. Yep. I feel like you always say this is your fave sport.
Yeah, I love the W. It's so entertaining. People don't. I used to always wonder how people would be like, "Oh, the W is not entertaining. The W is not entertaining." The W is great. They play a great brand of basketball. It's very fundamental. I always tell younger kids, if you want to learn how to play basketball the right way, watch the girls. Watch the girls, because it's not just all athleticism. They have to run plays. They have to do certain things. They have to play basketball the right way. They have to do fundamental things, and you can learn a lot from watching the girls' game. And it's so entertaining. The passion they play with. We got Caitlin Clark now shooting threes behind the back, all type of things. So just the direction this game is going is amazing, and it's very easy to win bets in the WNBA. It's less games, so the girls pretty much hit their marks most games, especially when you know who matches up versus who will. And this year we got a lot of mixed up teams now. A lot of players going new places, and I do think the Aces are going to repeat. So,
you think they're gonna 3-peat, 4-peat, 5-peat?
I don't know if it's gonna be that many, but I do think they win again. I think it might be one or two teams that could stand in their way. The Liberty is one. Now they got the Sabali sister. They got both of the sisters now. And the Dream, maybe. I'm interested to see how that looks with Ryan Howard, Gray, Canada, Angel Reese, and Brianna Jones, Nah Tillman. I'm interested to see how it's going to work out. But the Aces are the front runner for sure.
Okay. Did you see the new rule that was implemented in the W today?
What was it?
They're adding new fines for flopping. So now the amount I'm going to say is not going to be super high, because you know the WNBA salary is nothing like the NBA. So it's not tens of thousands of dollars or anything crazy. But they added in new rules today. Basically, the first time that you flop is a warning. The second time it's $100. And then after that, it's $100 increase for each additional flop. Like I said, it's not a lot of money. It's nothing crazy, but they're still trying to crack down on flopping. So the first time is a warning, second time is 100. Then each flop after, it's $100 more. But after the fifth flop, there's additional penalties, which include suspension. So essentially, if you do it too much, they're going to stop people from playing. What do you think about that?
Our girl Marina gonna be in trouble.
You said who?
She's gonna be in trouble. She's a Marina.
Oh, Mabry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's gonna be in trouble. She's a flopper. She's a real flopper over there. I think it's pretty cool. Flopping. When people talk about flopping, right? It's kind of weird to me, because flopping is a part of the game, but it's not a part of the game. I feel like it's hard to kind of tell the difference between a flop and getting a call. So, like, a player like Jalen Brunson, people try to call him a flopper. He's good at selling calls. That's part of the game. That's a skill. Shade, he sells calls sometimes. Like, players that sell, like, you're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do. I feel like flopping, when it's just you don't get hit at all, I hate those. Like, where you, like, Gobert didn't hit Joker in the last series, and Joker was like, "Oh, it fell." They showed the replay, literally didn't touch him. So I don't like those, but I feel like the driving and drawing contact and embellishing how much you got hit is just part of the game. That's what good players do.
Do you think that you believe it's part of the game, since your favorite player is somewhat known for doing that? I'm just asking.
You trying to take shots at Shea?
I'm not taking shots.
It is. It's part of the game. That's what good players get to the free throw line. Good players shoot 10 free throws a game, 8 to 10 free throws a game, and it's part of the game. It is.
And it's part of his game.
And also, I think it's part of the NBA. It's the NBA's fault as well, because look at this. Look at it like this. Let's say you get fouled, right? Or you get hit in your head on a fast break, but you just jump right back up. They're not going to go look at it. But if you fall or you go after the person that hits you, now they're going to go look at the call, and now it might get upgraded to a flagrant, because the definition of a flagrant foul is any excessive contact above the neck or head area. So are you flopping just because is it still called a flop because you're making a smart basketball play to make sure the refs go look at a play instead of just getting right up because it didn't hurt? No, you're trying to win the game. At the end of the day, if you're trying to win a basketball game, you get hit in your head, you fall and sit there for a minute instead of getting right up so that the refs go look at it. Now you got your team an extra point, an extra possession.
Did you naturally need a second to sit there and to adjust back to reality, or did you become an actor for 17 seconds to fake it and to be soft to then get your team an extra point?
Either one. I want the. If I'm a GM, I want the guy that's going to fall and sit there for the extra second to get us an extra possession or extra shot. So that's what players I want. I want that player.
And that's
I want the guy that's just want to be.
That would be why the league, because the WNBA is owned by the NBA. That's why the leagues are trying to crack down on floppers like yourself, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, just to go back to the W really quick, just to clarify, you said that the New York Liberty has both of the Sabali sisters. They were part of the trades for one another. So Satu is now on the New York Liberty, but her sister Nayara is on the Toronto Tempo, which leads me into my question for you. Have you looked at the new expansion teams that are coming in this season? And what do you think that's going to be like for them in those new cities?
I do think that the Vegas team, the Golden State team was phenomenal last year, and I don't think these teams will be as good as that team. These teams, their first year will not be good. It won't be like last year where Golden State made the playoffs or any of that. These teams will not be good. You can fade them. That's coming from me. You can fade these teams pretty much to start the year. They don't have good rosters.
Nice. Well, the Valkyries, to your point, they did have an exceptional year. They made the playoffs. Their coach won Coach of the Year, and they became the first billion-dollar women's basketball team, women's sports team in general. So the Valkyries, it was outstanding. We might not see that happen in Toronto and Portland this year, but we could talk about that more on our WNBA show. Oh, they said complaining about. Oh, okay. I got to do this comment really quick. They said complaining about Shea doing something that's been going on before Shea came in the league. LeBron's been flopping. I'll show that for you, Dallas. To say it's not just Shea, basically.
The best players in the game are going to be called floppers. That's just what it is. Most of the time. You only talk about it with the best players. You don't talk about
don't say a name. Don't say
Okay. We don't talk about random players flopping. We only talk about the Jaylen Browns, the Jokers, the Shays, the Jalen Brunsons. You see the common thing here? People just try to find something to knock great players. James Harden, like LeBron, like all these players flopped, quote unquote. You don't talk about bums flopping.
Okay, that's fair. So let's move on. If you're ready, we can dive into the free system play for the day.
All right, let me see what it is. Let me see. It changes. I might have sent you one thing. It might have changed by now. It actually did change. Okay, so we ain't got to do that banner, but the free system play, the top one on here is Jared Allen over 9.5 points. They think he gets 12.88. And that's what it is. So Jared Allen over 9.5 points. I'm going to give a free play from myself today as well. I'm going to go with Tobias Harris under 18.5. I think it's kind of juiced. I think the Cavs don't turn the ball over as much, so I don't feel like he gets as many transition buckets. I think 18.5 is too high. That's forcing Tobias to score about 20 points. I don't think he gets it again tonight. That'll be 3 or 4 games in a row Tobias went over. He's playing lights out basketball. I just think that 18.5 is a little bit too high. I can see him finishing with like 15 or 14. So that's one from legal, not the system.
Do we want to show them what the other free play, the system play was, or no, since that's changed?
They can get all three. Jalen Williams for the Oklahoma City Thunder over 3.5 points was the system play that was the highest on the system at 330. It has changed. It's the second best one now. They think he scores 5. He's the backup center for the Thunder. He's going to probably play because they're going to blow the Lakers out. And he only got to get 4, so he probably gets 4.
Okay. Sorry to the Lakers fans again as we continue to talk bad on your team, but it is what it is. As always, you guys can text Legal Licks Live to this number. What is that package looking like, Dallas?
If you're on the show, you're watching the show, you get our 30-day package for only $200. It's no better time to get that 30-day package with the WNBA starting tomorrow. Like I keep saying, the WNBA to start the season is one of the easiest things to bet on because the sports books do not put these women numbers at the correct numbers at all. It's a lot of value, and it's a lot of games going on. I even did something I never do. I put a $500 parlay in for 100 bands, and I never do those type of things. But I'm like, man, it's the WNBA, NBA playoffs together. This is my favorite time of the year because you can take bets from the W, put them with the NBA, and now you can parlay things. We also got a big UFC card this weekend. We got big boxing this weekend. And I put me a $500 for a 100-band parlay. I sent this to the group. And you can get 30 days for only $200. And I really do think that parlay is going to come down to like the 1 or 2 legs. And we might be having a really interesting conversation come Monday.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, please subscribe. And Instagram, thank you guys for commenting and keeping that active. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.